Well, how are you enjoying the experience here so far?
It's been good.
Yeah.
It's been real good. Everybody here, from an administrative standpoint to a player standpoint, has been great. It's good to be, I'm 3 hours from home, so family comes often. But it's Michigan, it's a dream school, but it's been really good. So I've enjoyed working here.
You were a Buckeye growing up.
I was. Well, I wasn't. My father was. So you kind of get born into it. But, yeah, I was, I'm familiar with Ohio State. But all respect to them and Coach Meyer, what they're doing. But I was excited about this for a lot of reasons. So I'm trying to convert as many family members over. So.
How about your dad?
My dad was here this past weekend to come to the spring game, the spring practice, and he had a good time. He had a Michigan hat on, but he had an Ohio State jersey underneath it. So I was exposing him a little bit. But yeah, he's excited. So, he's proud. It's a great program, great school. So, yeah.
What did you get out last year with Frey?
With
I'm
Fickell.
sorry, with Fickell, excuse me.
You said how did I?
Yeah, I mean, what did you get out?
What I get out of it?
Yeah.
Well, Coach Fickell's a great person, first off. I hadn't worked with him prior to working there, but growing up in Columbus, and, a lot of coaches that I'm close with are close with him. So he's a great human being, man. Great coach. He's a winner. So I really enjoyed my time there. It was tough to leave so soon because you get relationships with these kids, and Coach Fickell, but, I mean, what did I get out of it? I guess just another perspective, another high-level coach, to learn from, how to conduct their business and how to, run a program. So.
How did it catch you off guard? I mean, you were only there for 1 year, like you said. You're a young guy. Did it catch you off guard when they called you here and said, we want you to coach here? Was it something you expected, or was it like?
Well, every year is kind of its own deal.
Mm-hmm.
So I had been at Boston College for 5 years prior, and that was kind of my. I've been all over the place as I've come up, but did I think I would be offered a job at Michigan beginning of the year? No, but I didn't think it was something out of the norm. And my relationship with Donnie, I kept in contact with Donnie. He's a big part of that. Obviously, that's documented. But I'm not surprised about much. Every year is kind of unique, and so it was a great situation for sure. But I'm appreciative of it. But I'm kind of ready for whatever.
You mentioned Don. I mean, how different is he coaching now? I mean, is there a difference?
Different.
Is he more intense or?
No, he's consistent, and I learned from him when I was at Boston College, being on the offensive side.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And just not only how he goes about his day-to-day, but how he deals with kids. And, a lot of times, there's agendas that aren't always for the kids. Donnie's all about the kids. And that's why they play hard for him. That's why, as a young coach, you look at him, you admire him, because he treated me kind of like that. He showed me love. He, opened up to me. So, Donnie's, he's a friend, a mentor. He's on my Mount Rushmore of great coaches that I want to be like one day. And so, I don't know I can't remember your question. I just went off on
just
like
how if he's different, if you've seen him
he's
evolve
not.
or.
Yeah, I wouldn't. Yeah, he's always been consistent. I think every year he's very self-reflective, and he enhances what he does from a schematic standpoint. So I think in that area, I think he's changed for the better. But overall, day to day, he's who he is. And that's what makes him, the best, in my opinion.
He said this might be his fastest defense ever. What have you seen of the talent level out there?
Man, I tell you what, I made the comparison of somebody dropping a steak in a tank of piranha. And when you see the quarterback drop back, it's like, it's overwhelming. So the speed is lightning quick, they're physical, and they're smart. That, to me, is probably the biggest thing. These guys get it. This is a lot of, I think he had 2 new starters last year, 10 new starters, excuse me. So a lot of these kids are coming back, and they know it. They have a mastery of it. And so that just makes them even faster. They're tough. They take pride in what they do. It's a great group, special group.
Michael Dwumfour is a name we've heard a lot about. Just your impressions.
Oh, Dwummy's an animal, and I haven't seen the development like Coach Matty has and the rest of the staff has, and Coach Matty's coaching him, obviously, but I mean, you're on the field with Dwummy, you're going to know where he's at because he's always in the backfield. He's disruptive, he's twitchy, he's a great kid, and wants to do right, you know, very passionate, you know, and, you know, I'm a big fan of his, and I'm excited for what's ahead. So, you know, just a playmaker.
Who else joins Don on that Mount Rushmore of coaches?
Oh, that's a good question. Okay, Dana Bible. All right, he's at UCLA now, I think. He's a guy that's up there for me. I played for Tom O'Brien. I have a tremendous amount of respect for him. He was a Marine. He's a guy, Steve Adazio, Boston College. Very close with him, and he developed me. Paul Pasqualone's a guy that I've had a chance, you know, to connect with, and I have a great amount of respect for. Keith Willis. So I mean, you know, it may be a big mountain, but yo, how many people on there? But just, you know, you're the young coach, man. You just, you know, I'm you know, Coach Madison. After a year of being around him, that guy is amazing. Like, you think about how much he's accomplished. So, and I could go on and on. Coach Harbaugh, Jim Harbaugh. I mean, these are some great coaches that I'm fortunate to be around. So you got to soak it up. And so those are just a few names. I'm sure I'm forgetting some guys, but you know, those guys I admire. Yeah.
We hear your name a lot with recruits on the recruiting trail.
Yeah.
What's your philosophy when you go into somebody's house?
Well, my philosophy is, how would I treat my younger brother? So my younger brother is 11 years younger, and what I mean by that is, you got to be honest with people, but you also want to try to appeal to them in a way that they feel that you're going to do what's best for them, and you mean it. You know, I think you have to mean it, and I think any coach in college sports, you know, has an affection for kids and appreciation for it. That's why they do it. So, you know, when I recruit, man, I treat them like they're my own, and doesn't mean I get them all, but I can tell you tons of kids that I may not have, you know, gotten to commit to the school I've been at, but I'm still in a relationship with because of the relationship you build. So I think you go about that way. It makes it more pleasurable, because it does take a lot of time and energy. But the other part is, I think it's the right way to do it. So again, I learned, you know, being a Division III coach, a 1AA coach, Division II coach, you know, you have to, in order to do your job, you've got to do more than just wear, you know, a jersey logo and think you're going to connect with people. So I learned young that, hey, you know, it's about the person and connecting. So that's my philosophy on it. So, yeah.
Along those lines, I've heard a lot of people talk about Partridge about that way. Chris along the same ways. Have you guys talked about that philosophy when you're out on the road?
Absolutely, man. Chris, so I've known about CP, you know, from you know, being at other schools. He has a great reputation, but being around him, that was one of the first things I asked him when I first had a chance, when I first got hired, because when I first got hired, we were on the road. And yeah, that is his philosophy. And he is relentless in how he prepares for families when they come, and how he interacts with them throughout the week. So he definitely, I've learned a great deal from what he's done, you know, and I feel like you know, he's definitely an elite recruiter, you know, and an elite coach. He's a great coach too.
How is he doing taking over the safeties?
Oh man, he's a beast. He's a head coach. You know, the thing about Chris, he was a head coach prior to being here, a really good one, and he's a hell of a special teams coordinator, because I've coordinated special teams in the past, and that's not easy, you know, when you got all phases, and then you have to, you know, get kids engaged, and then you have to coach the coaches. So, and Chris has, you know, done an unbelievable job, man.
What in particular has he done to help improve the safeties?
Well, I mean, I think he'd be better served to talk about the details of that. I just know that when he's in the room, kids listen. And from a special team standpoint, because he is a special teams coordinator, you know, I'm working with him to help him. Some of the things he's doing, I mean, I think it's elite. So he's a hell of a coach.
Will you be going to Paris?
You know what? I planned on it, but here's the deal. I got a 2-year-old and I got a 3-month-old, and my wife is the Lone Ranger. So I want to go, but she wouldn't be able to go. So
you just got husband of the year.
Well, I haven't, not yet. I'm still see if my mom, I'm working the details.
Oh, you just want this on the record?
Yeah, it's on the record.
Got it.
But yeah, it'd be, I'm hoping to go. So we'll see.
I mean, do you think, outside looking in, maybe you heard about the Rome trip last year, what were your impressions of Jim taking the team and doing this?
I think it's awesome. I think it's a guy that's taking advantage of his opportunity to impact people. And like people have opinions about that. People think it's a waste of time. I think it's a great team building activity, and it's a great cultural activity. Like as a player, I never had a chance to go anywhere. You're kind of handcuffed. And I'm not, trying to, college athletes or scholarship athletes especially, they're very fortunate. Like you get the tuition paid for. I'm not saying that, but there's a lot of time that you can't do things that normal students do. So when you leave football, or when football leaves you, sometimes people have a hard time adjusting because they haven't had that experience. And I see here everything from the impact program to coach taking kids over across the world. They're trying to prepare you on top of being an elite athlete. You can do both. So I think it's a trend that'll probably catch at other schools. I know a lot of schools scoff right now, but honestly, if they had the ability to do it, they'd probably do it. And if I had a son, I do have a son, when he gets old enough, I want him to be around somebody that's going to take care of him in all totality. Like, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So I want to go to Paris really because of the team element. Like, I'm a new coach. Even if you're an older coach, those times are special because when come fall, that relationship's got to be like this. So it's a great opportunity for me to catch up. So
the deal maker is getting your mom to. Yeah,
we got to get my mom or my mother-in-law. So maybe we'll have you call her or somebody.
Right.
I don't know. It's tough, but hopefully it works out.
We know your angle now, and it's a good one.
That's right.
So
you
keep
that on.
That's right.